wake up every day and focus on something, fight for something, go after something, chase something hard like a freaking savage. Hey folks, welcome back to Alflex podcast. My name is Alex. For those who this is the first time to come across Alflex podcast. So in this video, I want us to talk about forging the man that you want to be in life, like being in that process of building up that man until you achieve what you want in life. I find this topic very interesting simply because at the end of the day, we as men, we have an innate desire of becoming great. We have an innate desire of maybe achieving something in life, doing something for ourselves, for our mothers, for everyone around us. We want to treat everybody. If we want to be successful, we want to drive the fastest car, we want to live in the best mansion and such. And that is something that is actually amazing. That is something that you should be proud of. You saying that you have those desires, something beautiful about that. And at the end of the day, this system is already rigged simply because you find that in as much as we have all these dreams, the system is set against us, starting from our minds, going down to the systems that we go through in life, from the education, banking, everything. Everything is set against us to ensure that we don't achieve that. And I came to realize that it is very essential as a man to sit back and actually look back into what you want to be in life. I see that very important simply because a lot of men end up spending 40 years, 50 years, and then at the end of the day look back and see they have done nothing with their lives. And that is something saddening for a man simply because it can even give them some, I don't know, what is it? I don't know what. PTSD or something, such kind of a thing. Because at the end of the day, a man without purpose A man without purpose is just like a shell walking, a walking shell, like just a nobody. Nobody recognizes that kind of a man. Nobody respects that kind of a man. And a man who has the aura of standing up and just facing himself and achieving something for himself, that man earns respect in this society. And that is what it is. If a man passes you by and he has a big Lambo or such kind of a thing, or maybe a big machine, he's clothed well, he's a businessman or such kind of a thing, you have instant respect for that guy. Why? Simply because he have earned it. That is what we as men do. We earn what we want. And at the end of the day, if you don't earn it, you won't get it. The same thing when you see a person walking on the street and he's not clothed well, he like he's lazy, he's sluggish, or maybe sleeping on the street or such kind of a thing. At the end of the day, you don't have respect for that guy because you know very well that this guy can rob you in the next few minutes. And that is why a lot of people don't trust a lot of young men out there on the streets. And that is what it is. If you have that aura of a man, of doing what you're supposed to do, going after your dreams, you're disciplined, you're fit, that earns you instant respect in the society. In contrary to that, it earns you disrespect and dishonor. And that is literally what it is. That is how our society operates. Even women don't respect you at the end of the day simply because you haven't built something of essence as a man. And you have to understand very well that we're not going to achieve something simply because the society is saying, I don't know, you should drive a Mercedes, I don't know, you should drive this and all that. No, we are achieving that simply because it will give us purpose in this life, rather than just waking up scrolling on fucking TikTok and bullshit, wasting your time, wasting your energy on everything. Rather than doing all of that, it will give you a purpose to wake up every day and focus on something, fight for something, go after something, chase something hard, like a freaking savage. Like if it is going to the gym, you beat those dumbbells like a freaking beast, bro. That gives you some essence in life. It gives you some happiness, knowing that you are living for something. And at the end of the day, you find yourself achieving things in the process. It's not a matter of maybe buying, I don't know, BMW. By the way, a lot of people get lost in that thing simply because they think that, okay, I need a BMW, you don't need all that bullshit, bro. You don't need all of them. What you need is that purpose in your life, that purpose of waking up, being happy doing what you do, and doing it to the very freaking best, even if you don't feel like doing it. And at the end of the day, all these material things will come along. But the problem is that a lot of young people, especially young men, are focusing so much on these material things. Okay, I want this, I want that, I don't know all of this bullshit. Yet at the end of the day, they're not putting in the work. They're not in love with the process. It is actually said that a man who finds pleasure in actually being not being pleased, at the end of the day, this man is unstoppable. Simply because he will wake up in the middle of the night, do some freaking push up like a freaking savage. He will spend sleepless nights doing something that he loves to do. And at the end of the day, this man is actually gifted by the society by giving, like, it just comes, technically speaking, with you doing what you're supposed to do. Success will just fall to you. And I know that simply because that is how it goes. I've seen, in fact, in my path, as far as I am in the meantime, I can see very well that the path is actually aligning itself simply because of the simple steps that I've been taking. The same thing with you. You can wake up every day and just decide to do some push ups. You can wake up every day and just decide to do marketing for your company or your business, or maybe you can wake up every day and just decide to not waste your time on TikTok or such kind of a thing. That positive decision will actually help you proceed ahead, proceed in your dreams, in your goals, in anything that you might be pursuing, in that purpose that you want. And at the end of the day, you find yourself, you're making money, you're making billions of money. And who knows, a BMW will come, maybe an S class, and you won't find pleasure in that simply because your only happiness comes in when you are attached to that purpose that you're going after. And that is literally what it is. You know, you go after it every now and then. And rebuilding, forging this man that we are talking about here, it is actually a matter of just doing what you're supposed to do. Understanding that you're not here to be pleased, you're not here to be happy every now and then, you're not here to maybe do what the society is telling you to do. You are here to do what your heart is telling you to do. You are here to do what God kept you here to do. And that is literally what it is. We have to be in a position of forging the reality we want, because at the end of the day, no one will come and present it to us on a silver platter. That is literally what it is. And for men who are not in a position of doing such, at the end of the day, they don't get that dream they want. You know, they end up being losers, they end up being weak. Because if you know very well, as a man, when you don't have money, you feel weak. Technically speaking, when you don't have muscles, you feel weak. When a person can come and push you around like that simply because you're not jacked, you feel like, what the fuck? You know, like, that is the natural order of men. You know, we feel bad when we don't have things. You know, we feel bad when we don't have that respect. We our esteem deteriorates when we are not in a position of getting what we want in life. That is what I'm talking about. In 10 years, if you don't go after your dreams, at the end of the day, your confidence in yourself will totally deteriorate to a point that you won't be in a position of believing that you can do something for yourself. That is literally what it is. And you end up being a freaking bitch out there on the streets doing I don't know what, you know. That is what it is, guys. You have to understand. You have to be the best. You have to wake up every day. Force yourself to do it. Stop wasting time on TV. That TV, like, it's not here to serve your purpose. You know, that I don't know, TikTok or such kind of a thing. It's not here to serve your purpose in life. And as Wes Watson says, that our purpose is to build the man, to create the man that we admire the most, and then give that man to the world by doing it for the people, you know, by sharing your process with the people, like by inspiring people, technically speaking. That is what I'm saying. You have to understand. That is our role as men. We are here on earth to do what we are supposed to do. And if we don't do that, if we don't go after that, at the end of the day, we won't be in a position of achieving the essence of life as a man. And there's nothing worse than a man sitting down maybe 30 years from now. You have a family of four or maybe five, and you look around, you can't provide for them. There's nothing fucking hard than that. Like, it just makes you feel so weak to a point that, god damn, doesn't make any sense, you know. It is just so sickening simply because you're looking at your people helpless, technically speaking. There's nothing bad as that. They get ill and you're just there watching them because you can't do shit about it. You know, there's nothing hard than that. You know, and that is something that we have to avoid by all means possible, simply because we don't want that. All we want is to be successful and be able to support our people. And that is something that a lot of young men fail to do. But see, it's simply because they are not there in it every now and then, day in, day out, day in, day out, going after that purpose every now and then, being relentless in the process, because that is what will build what you actually want. Because as I told you, the system is all rigged. It's all rigged. All the distractions are placed intentionally to derail you. Everything is done intentionally. It's not by coincidence or something. No. All of these things that we see, the phones, the I don't know what, all these distractions, all of them, the fucked up systems, the matrix itself, all of these are by design to ensure that they trap the human mind in a single direction that they want you to follow. But at the end of the day, that is not the direction that you want with your life, you know. So you guys, you have to understand, we have to forge the men that we want to be, because at the end of the day, that is our role. And if we die without achieving that, we just die like a number and nobody remembers us. We did nothing. We are technically useless to the community today. And that is what it is. For instance, the death of Charlie Kirk back in the days, a few maybe days ago or something. This guy died, and the entire nation just rose to commend his work. That is what I'm talking about. Leaving a name. Do you know how many people died with him that day? In the same day he died, thousands of people. But at the end of the day, he stood out simply because he had created a name for himself, and now he has left a legacy. You know, he has left a legacy for the people to follow, inspiration, and that is what it technically means: building the man that you admire and gifting him to the world. That is what it is, guys. You have to understand, all of these material things that we want, all of these desires, they will only lead us to being distracted on doing things that we are not supposed to do. Or maybe looking at people, oh, I don't know who bought this, who bought that. Wow, one day it will be me. It will only keep you distracted in that cycle. And you'll be anxious, you'll be anxious, and at the end of the day, you will continue scrolling TikTok. And guess what? 5 years, 10 years, you remain a bitch. That is all it is. So, guys, gonna be the best. Gonna go after it. Thank you for sticking to this very end. If you haven't yet subscribed to the freaking top.